Oops. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Woo. It is 9:47 on a Monday morning, and I'm able to do this because thank God we live in America. It's President's Day, so I've got the day off, which I double checked like 3 times before I actually went to bed last night because that would have sucked. How we doing? What's up, Clyde? What's up, Lily? Yeah. First day of the word was oops. First word of the day was oops. Son of a bitch. How's everyone doing? Everyone gotten their coffee? I have not gotten my coffee yet. And I'll tell you what, so I went to bed late. Like I messed up. If today was a work day, would not be a good work day. So I have not even got my coffee yet. I've been up for all of 20 minutes, 25 minutes, really, I think. I'm half tempted to just have, there we go. I'm half tempted to just tell or just call someone and say, hey, can you bring me some coffee? Let's see, like to bed early, up, now feel like trash. Yep. You gotta, and then, you end up mainlining coffee, which makes you feel even worse around, I always feel terrible about 11 a.m. when I start drinking coffee at, let's say, 8. I always feel really tired at 11. And then I drink more coffee, which gets me to about 3. And then I decide whether or not I drink more coffee or just suck it up. Usually I drink more coffee. What's up, Spider Unloaded? How you doing? How's y'all's podcast? Did you do another one yesterday? Hang on, let me check. Yeah, did you do one yesterday? I didn't see it. Black tea to avoid the worst hum of coffee. Black tea. See, I always liked peppermint tea. But I don't have I threw a bunch of my stuff away when I moved and never ended up buying another kettle or coffee maker. So I just drink coffee at the office. What's up, the beast? Spider, typically someone has to be invited to come onto a podcast. And I'm looking at our chat and I don't see an invitation. So the answer is after I get invited. Just saying. Ha! One thing I have been drinking more of. I've been drinking pineapple juice again. I used to love pineapple juice. Like, I would get, I remember there was one time that, Donna hasn't invited me either. Oh, yeah, Lily, I would go, I think I went to, what's it called, Starbucks like twice while I was unemployed, but yeah, pretty much no coffee. But I also was going to bed at like 7 p.m. So sorry, I'm shaking my pineapple juice. So some crazy shit has happened, and I am going to talk about a couple things that we saw Jay talking about. I try not to like repeat Welcome to the Rebellion. Sometimes it happens. Today it's going to happen a little bit. There's 3 things that Jay brought up that I want to talk about. One is, and I cannot find it. Actually, I bet you if I went looking for it, I could. Hey, look at that. Clyde becomes a member. Which membership? Because it doesn't tell me. And let me pull up YouTube so it'll tell me. The King's Court. Live. Click that and make sure I'm muted. Welcome to the paralegal membership. There's two, I think. I think I did two. I think I did a paralegal. I think I did a attorney. Wow, I can't become a member on my own channel. That's because someone got me a membership a while back. Yeah, so there's two. There's paralegal and attorney. Pretty fun, I think. I'm gonna make some custom member. What are they called? Levels. I'm gonna make some custom Lego levels. It'll be fun. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is, don't forget jailhouse lawyers. What's up, Giles? Morning, Marianne. Whoa, 5 minutes ago. So one of the really annoying things that I've heard about in the UK is the city councils or the town councils. So they're sort of like, if there's any Brits in here, let me know if I'm right or wrong, please. They're sort of like our city council. You know, you get 9 or 10 people elected to a board that kind of oversees the council or oversees the town. And my understanding is they were originally supposed to really just kind of make sure stuff got fixed correctly, that rules were followed and things like that. They weren't really supposed to be a like governing Gestapo, let's call them. And somewhere along the line, they basically became like your local HOA. And it seems, and I'm basing a lot of what I know about city councils or town councils off of, like Spider said here, off of Clarkson's Farm. A lot of what I know about it is based off of that, and very little bit of reading. And so from what I've kind of assumed, my assumption is that a lot of those town councils are full of Labour Party because they seem like they would be. While the Secretary of State in the UK has decided to withdraw his decision to postpone the council elections of 30 local councils due to take place in May 2026 in the light of recent legal advice. The Secretary of State invited the housing minister, who is not involved in the initial decision-making, to consider the position afresh on a very urgent basis, recognizing the pressing timescales involved. And the housing minister has decided that elections should proceed in May 2026. So they had decided, and this is the thing that like blows my mind about parliamentary systems. How can you just decide, no elections this week? Or we're not doing the election this year. How can you just decide that? That blows my mind. Thank you to Beast for one gifted king. What is that? Well, StreamYard's having a stroke. You know what? Let me see if I've got. I don't have a good video for this. Here we go. We'll go with this.
Wait, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
Shut for 1 second.
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. You're just coming off stupid.
That might be my membership video. I don't know. It is right now. So Labor, from what I've been able to gather, and as our resident Brit here, Sarah, let me know if I'm right. But Labor seems to really want to suppress any opportunity that the other parties have to break in and destroy the monopoly that Labor has right now. Because remember, what was it, 2 years ago that Labor came in, they won like 413 of the 600 seats, I think, and just absolutely decimated the Conservative Party, which, over there isn't quite our Conservative Party here. It's not terrible, but it ain't great. And so they're really going out of their way to do whatever they can because they know they've lost. They know that they've lost the public's trust. It's very much like that. If anyone's seen that play, there was a play someone did a while back on Charles III. Yeah, it's a 2014 play. It's called King Charles III. Is this it? This might not be it. Yeah. It's called King Charles III. The BBC did a adaptation in 2017. And basically, Charles becomes king. I almost said president. Charles becomes king. And a bill gets placed before Parliament where they're going to do something about freedom of the press. I don't know what it is. And they decide, and the king says, I'm not going to sign this bill, which apparently the king doesn't have to sign the bill, but it requires some overrides. It's basically like our veto system here. So the prime minister gets really pissed off and says, you know what? The king is outdated. We're going to remove the power of the king in making laws. And so Charles shows up and says, you know what? You're all out. You're fired. Get out of here. And the rest of the movie is just kind of how that decision affects the rest of his reign. And then I believe it ends with William becoming king. But I think what we all really want to see is maybe I, as an outsider looking in, and I would imagine probably a bunch of people over in the UK right now, we all want to see Charles III do what his ancestors did. Each ancestor, both Charles I and II, did this. Resolve Parliament, kick him out, and call for a new general election. Now, Charles I and II ended Parliament. They completely shut it down. The first shut it down. That's what led to Oliver Cromwell forming the Roundheads. Is that what they were called? Cromwell forces. What am I thinking of? What are they called? Like the Round Tops? Yeah, Roundheads versus, and then what were the Loyalist forces called? Roundheads, Cavaliers. Yeah. So that's what I think a lot of people would love to see. Like Sarah is saying in the chat, I don't think it's going to happen. It was kind of a cool pipe dream, a year ago, 2 years ago. But he really seems to just want to play king and do whatever whoever is pulling his strings. And it's funny that you say that, Clyde, because I agree. I think Charles is compromised in the sense that I think he's got loyalties to his brother who seems like a really bad dude now. I'll tell y'all what. You think toothpaste and orange juice is a bad combination? Try toothpaste and pineapple juice. Woo! Not a great combo. Yeah, I think William could do some damage. And that's why I think it was ridiculous for Charles to agree to such an expensive and elaborate coronation, because they're just gonna have to do it again in 7 years. Toothpaste and Yahoo. No, how do you say that? Yahoo. Oh, Yahoo's how you say it. What's up, Hokies? I think reform UK is a great idea. But I do think that other guy coming out and starting that other party is a really bad idea. Restore Britain. I think that you do not need to just restore Britain. You need to restore your exceptionalism. And part of what made Britain and the UK exceptional was imperialism. Imperialism is not a bad thing. There are some people out there that don't deserve to vote. There are some people out there. Whoa, what is this? Hang on. This is neat. That's the Nile. What is this? We're going to bookmark this and figure this out later. That's neat. There are some people out there that do not honestly deserve their own damn country. We got this sense, and honestly, it's the fucking French Revolution that did all of this. But we got this sense that, kings were bad. Kings are the lifeblood of Europe. We sit here in America and we say something like, we did this throughout the 20th century. But we sit here in America and say, oh, everyone should be a democracy. Well, the thing that we forgot in the 20th century was that we were exceptional, that we were different from Europe. The requirements to grow as a nation, disconnected or unconnected and unique, were something that Britain or something that that Europe and Asia had never had to deal with, at least not in 5,000 years. So when Ben Franklin said that we had developed a new people here, a new type of person, a new race, that we were stronger and less refined, they were right. He was right. I still can't believe we lost the game. That's bullshit. Sorry, I was listening. Exactly. We are a constitutional republic. What is this? Apparently, U.S. Congressman Randy Fine was quoted as saying, if they force us to choose, the choice between dogs and Muslims is not a difficult one. Jose, it is 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. So it's in 9.5 hours, basically. Dogs are the best. Oh, we're going to bookmark that. Sorry, my feed is mostly Night of the Seven Kingdoms right now. So it's taking a little bit to get back to like my bookmarks and stuff like that. Ooh, you know what? Fuck it. Let's talk about the SAVE Act. So, whole bunch of people sitting there saying that the SAVE Act is going to destroy voting, that it's going to disenfranchise 69 million women who changed their name, that it's going to make it hard for Black Americans to vote because they don't have ID, which doesn't make any sense because let's take the other side of the most racist statement you can make and say, well, all Black people are drunk. In order to buy alcohol or cigarettes, you need ID. All of this, if you take the most racist assumptions of anybody, and then you take the most racist assumption of the SAVE Act, they don't work together. Year of the Horse, Idaho, huh? Year of the Horse. I'm trying to think if I got a joke in there somewhere. No joke. No joke. I can't think of one. I'll work on it. I mean, it's right up there with when Joe Biden said that poor kids are just as good as white kids. What does that mean, Joe? What do you mean by that, Joe? Why is Gowdy trending? Apparently there are reports. Yeah, I mean, I know that the Year of the Horse is a Chinese thing, but I was trying to think of a joke for it. I wanted it to be something along the lines of Trojan horse, but I just couldn't come up with it quickly enough. Let's talk about this thing that I saw over on Welcome to the Rebellion. So this dude who's got 1 million followers on social media. This dude that looks a bit like a there we go. And Clyde's got it. Don't look a gift year in the mouth. I like that. I like that. Yeah, Mike, I'm going to keep growing it out, or growing it back out, I should say. And I think we're going to keep it at about half an inch, 3/8 to 4/8, something like that. Should be good. I liked it. I saw that video. I think y'all saw that. I saw that video of me back in September, and it was just holy shit. It was like a different dude. Let's talk about this dumbass. So this guy gets onto his 1.1 million follower. Is this TikTok? I think it's TikTok. And apparently he's a retired trial attorney. You know what? Do we have a name? No. So this guy apparently is a retired trial attorney, which means he took an oath, which means he's in violation of that oath and honestly should be disbarred for what he says. He basically says that it would only take killing 3 or 4 of them to get the rest of them to fall in line. If you think taking out a member of Trump's cabinet would make Donald Trump fall in line, buddy, you are sorely mistaken. Like, holy shit. That would be the dumbest thing you could do. Let's just say, I think Trump's playing nice right now. You take one of them out, and guys, it could be one that we dislike the most, and we would still go to town on y'all. I mean, that's how you start a war. Exactly, Hokies. If you think getting online and saying, hey, we should kill our political opponents is a good idea, you're a fucking idiot. Now, does anyone else think this dude kind of looks like Chris Gore? A bit grunt, yeah. Yeah, the hair is definitely different, but I don't know. I guess maybe just white guy with whitish hair just reminds me of Chris Gore all the time. If Michael J. Fox and Chris Gore had a baby, you know what? I could definitely see that. That's wild. That's neat. You know, we shouldn't celebrate Valentine's Day. We should celebrate Flag Day on February 14th. That's the day that the Stars and Stripes received its very first formal recognition. Frank Gore. Oh, I remember that. That was funny. Yeah, here it is. Congressman Randy Fine. Now, this guy has said quite a couple things. If they force us to choose the choice between dogs and Muslims is not a difficult one. They provide some context down here. For context, this is the leader of one of the key mainstream Muslim groups that supported Mamdani. Finally, New York City is coming to Islam. Dogs definitely have a place in society, just not as indoor pets. Like we've said all along, they are unclean. Half the people in your nations wipe their asses with their hands. Don't talk to me about being unclean. Yeah, I'm not gonna listen to that bullshit. Holy shit, that's a big dog. This lady's got a Great Dane as a service dog. Holy shit, that's a huge dog. Yeah. Those are Hindus. Is it Bismarck launch day? I thought that was yesterday. If y'all don't know what he's talking about, so the Bismarck was the largest battleship in World War II. And it was a German battleship, and it was sunk by like 40. Saturday was Bismarck launch day. It took like 40 English destroyers over like 3 days to sink it. Yeah, the Admiral Hood. Idaho. I think there are parts of all of Asia where dog meat is still. This was terrible. Oh, I don't know if I should say this. I got a buddy of mine that's Filipino, really good friend. and I was pulling into. I was trying to get home on Friday, and I could not. I had to go through a shopping center because I couldn't get around the traffic. So I pull into this shopping center, the basic strip mall shopping center. And I go down this road, and as I'm getting ready to go around the front of the storefront, I see this Asian lady jump out of her car and run towards the woods. And I go, well, that's really weird. Huh. And then I look into the corner of the road where the woods meet the road, and there's a cat sitting there. And my first thought is, it's probably her cat. My second thought was, oh shit, I hope she's not going to eat it. So I called that Filipino friend of mine. I told him the story, and we both laughed our asses off. I like this. So, Department of State, Marco Rubio. I tell you what, Marco Rubio, I swear, I've always liked the guy. Even, I know there were a lot of people that were really upset with the way that he sided with immigration. What was that now? A decade ago? But I've always liked him. Real quick, the Beast for 2 says, I've eaten dog. It's tasty in stew or kebabs. Dude, wild horses would not have gotten me to admit that I've eaten dog. I cannot believe you actually said. I hope you're just fucking with us. But this is Marco Rubio earlier. I think this was yesterday.
I've said this repeatedly. I don't know why it's so hard for some to comprehend it, so let me repeat it again. A visa, no one's entitled to a visa. There is no constitutional right to a visa. Okay, a visa is a permission to enter our country as a visitor. If you enter our country as a visitor, and as a visitor in our country, be it a student, a tourist, a journalist, whatever you want to be, and you undertake activities that are against the national interest, the national security of the United States, we will take away your visa. In fact, if we knew you were going to do it, we probably wouldn't have given you your visa. I've said this repeatedly. I don't know why.
Where is he?
For some to comprehend it. So
let's see the flags.
A visa. No one's.
Red on top, green on the bottom. I think he's in Hungary. I guess I could have Googled where is Marco Rubio right now. Yeah, he's in Hungary right now. This dude is doing a great fucking job over there too. There are some really good, some really good leaders over there in Europe right now, and he's one of them. He is really kicking back against this bullshit that's going on over there. So I would love to see us reward that and do business with Hungary. Japan. I mean, Japan, dude. Japan's going to look very different in 3 years, I think. So Japan just finished their elections, and they gave let's call it far right. I don't really think the terms far right and far left don't really work anymore for me, I think. Far right just means that you care about your country, really. I mean, it's kind of like that conservative liberal meme that shows the levels that everyone cares at. Conservatives care closer to their family, themselves, their town, whereas liberals care more about like foreigners. So what I want to see is, or talking about Japan, Japan's got the opportunity to rewrite their entire constitution. This is the constitution that we forced on them in the 40s. So they could end up rewriting that thing and becoming a fucking superpower. Like, that would be insane. Dog says, I have a friend that lives in Poland, and she was asking me the other week what was going on in Minnesota. I'd love to talk to your friend that lives in Poland, because one thing, there's a speech from Ronald Reagan saying that there's nowhere left to go. This is the last best place on earth. If we lose freedom here, there's no one coming to our aid. One thing I will say, Poland looks pretty fucking cool. I think that might be, like, if something failed here, Poland might be where I go. Hokie says they do not care about foreigners. They want to use them to get power. Who? Who doesn't care about foreigners? Oh, yeah, the left. Oh, okay, absolutely. Yeah, no, the left doesn't give a shit about foreigners. Yeah, absolutely. All they want to do is use them to gain power. That's why they're so afraid of the SAFE Act. It's why they're so afraid of it's why they sit there and they try to label every single person, whether they are, the town crier or whether they're the president of the United States. It's why they try to label every single person that doesn't agree with them as an ist, a phobe, or anything like that, because it's literally, to borrow a phrase, which I don't think you should borrow, it's literally a verbal yellow star. It is them trying to brand you as a traitor to your country. It's them trying to brand you as evil, so that when you make your point, they're able to just dismiss you and say, no, that's not. That could be a good point, but the wrong person said it. It's the reason why Hillary Clinton and all these other old liberal politicians are coming out in the last month, really, and kind of starting to sound a little conservative, because it's like, oh, interesting. So you think that, like, we saw that speech from Clinton. Hang on. Hey, does anyone think this, what's her name? Guthrie kidnapping is weird? Like, I've been thinking this whole thing is very weird. I haven't really looked into it. I haven't really invested any of that stuff. Haven't done my job at all. But the entire thing, like, I mean, this must be the first kidnapping the news is really reporting on in years. Now, I know it's the mother of a member of the media, so of course they are. But hang on. Oh, let's watch this. Let's watch this.
You're going to go into that building an American, and you're going to come out a Canadian.
I'm going to go into that building an American, and I'm going to come out a Canadian.
Ellen and Bandit. Theodore! All right, big smiles, everyone. Smile here. Hello. How does it feel to be Canadian?
It feels great. I feel like instantly changed. On the drive home, I was letting everyone in front of me. And then we went to go get lunch, and it was completely crowded. So
it's kind of like a tranny. Dylan Mulvaney will come out and he'll say, oh, I'm a girl, and this is what being a girl is like, and we wear pretty dresses, and we like to put on makeup, and I got these cramps, and it just doesn't mean shit because he doesn't know what he's fucking talking about. It's kind of like this dude. This guy thinks that all being Canadian is, and I need fucking Kohlhauser. Where is Kohlhauser? Where's my fucking Canadian? This guy thinks that being a Canadian just means being nice and letting people in. Dude, I have met some fucking assholes that are Canadian. Oh, are you? Clyde, I did not know that. Fuck off, Clyde. Like, being Canadian, first off, y'all know why we have the Geneva Convention? Do you know why all those stuck-up old people met in Sweden in the 1900s 3 times to talk about war crimes? Because of fucking Canada. Canada is the reason why we have the Geneva Convention, because they were murdering prisoners of war, because they sat there and said, oh, we don't really want to take care of you. Pow.
Like, I'll come back, and I just I've fully embraced being a Canadian already.
What could that mean? Fully embrace being a Canadian. Are you planning on, how do I say this without getting the streaming channel destroyed? Are you excited to be offered end-of-life care simply because you get a boo-boo on your finger? That's what being Canadian is all about today. Ain't that right, Clyde? Start drinking maple syrup. Where was I on this list? You know what is some of my favorite footage that the media shows? Fox News does it a lot. But every now and then we get footage of our aircraft carriers. And I don't even care what they say in this video. So I'm not even going to pull up that doesn't look 1080. But fucking look at that thing.
Talks resuming with Iran.
Look at the size of that. And these countries think they can fuck with us? What did the burnt peanuts say? We've got a black Dorito that it costs more than the GDP of like 2/3 of the fucking countries on this planet that would nuke your country. Aircraft carriers are probably the coolest thing we ever invented. Dude, dog, me too, man, me too. If we invested that into swarm drones, we could have the world. We don't, honestly, dude, we don't need swarm drones. We have the what's the name of the gun? Well, the Phalanx. We have the Phalanx on those things. That's the thing that shoots like 20,000 rounds in a second. You think the Warthog? You think the A-10s, Bert, is fast. That thing fires a wall of lead in like half a second. Oh, I know what I want to talk. Okay. One of the things that I had bookmarked, and let me see if I can find it. I'm going to have to go into my bookmarks, which is terrifying right now. No. There's a story about someone that was released from prison. Yeah, if someone does something you don't like park what's CV? Yeah, Idaho. If you go into the I forget what's actually called, the Geneva Convention, the thing we signed, the thing that everyone signed. We actually didn't sign, I think, the last one. We signed the first two. We refused to sign the last one. If you go into and read those the articles, you'll see that like all the things they mention you cannot do in war are things that Canada did in World War I and World War II. So now it's things that Germany did as well. It's things the U.S. did. There's a couple of things the U.S. did that are in that thing, but a lot of them are Canadian. And yes, thank you. I forgot that CV is the designation for aircraft carriers. I cannot find this. Well, there were a bunch of stories last week about more judges releasing people from prison. And I'm really getting sick and tired at just how destructive, what do we call them? Cash bail systems and no bail systems have become. The Ninth Amendment makes it clear. Let me make sure I'm right about the ninth. It might be the eighth. Hang on. Eighth Amendment. No excessive fines or cruel or unusual punishment. What that is supposed to, or what that's assumed to mean by a lot of people is that if you enforce a bail system that basically requires someone who's very poor to sit in prison while someone who is rich could get out of prison waiting for trial, that is seen as a unfair advantage to being rich. And they're not wrong. I mean, you get a lot of instances where being very rich means that you can get away with a lot of shit in life. That's true. And one of the goals of the legal system is to treat everyone in a fair, what's the liberal saying? Fair and equitable relationship or some bullshit like that. Justice is supposed to be blind. And if you start letting rich people play the system, if you start ruining the lives of poor people just because they're poor, And I'm not talking about the person that goes out and murders someone. I'm talking about the dude that gets, arrested for a joint in his pocket. And as much as I hate it, as much as I dislike pot and all that shit, I'm at the point now where I'm like, look, there's a difference between a dude carrying 9 pounds of marijuana or 4 pounds of cocaine and a dude that got caught with an ounce of pot in his pocket. It's a big old difference. I don't think the justice system should treat them the same. So when you see people get arrested that are able to afford the good attorneys and are able to cut deals and do all this stuff, and then you see people that aren't able to do that simply because of the amount of money they make, it's annoying and it's aggravating. It's one of the reasons why I entered the legal field. But what it should not be done, or what should not be done in this case, is judges and legislators should not decide, are the best way of fixing this is by removing all requirements whatsoever. If you commit a crime, you go to jail. Just it. If you win, if you get out, different story. But what we should not have are judges basically playing guardian angels and saying, oh, you're black, I feel bad for you. Or, oh, you don't have a lot of money. Let's set your bail to $200. Like, bail exists for a reason. And it's not just to get the state money. It's to force people to have to give up something because they have committed a crime. In a lot of cases, felonies. There's not a lot of bail for misdemeanors. But what blows my mind is we see something like this. We see this woman, a woman in South Kansas City, I'm guessing Kansas City, Missouri, who committed arson. This is arson. Sitting there trying to burn this building down because she is ill-informed and believes that ICE is getting ready to rent this building. So she decides to burn the building down. This is a felony. From a random independent, morning, how have you chosen to push Trump's un-American agenda today? Well, maybe you could tell me how his agenda is un-American while I come over here to boot you out of the stream because you're just a dumbass. You got like 4 seconds, buddy. 3, 2. Maybe he's gone. Let's look at this dude. Oh, he's been in here a couple times. He was in here during Legally Speaking number 6 as well. He just called me sensitive. That's real cute, buddy. Damn, he spoke a lot. Yeah, big dumbass over there. Oh, well. Let's FOIA this guy. How do I... There we go. Wait, so are you a dick or not? I'm confused now. I just assumed you were. If I'm being the asshole, let me know. Yeah, you know what? You know what? Absolutely. You know what? I like this guy. You know what? Fuck it. But yeah, like this shit is annoying as hell. You get people that commit crimes. This woman probably ended up with like $120 bail, especially if it's some Kansas City magistrate. $120 bail and doesn't have to actually deal with the consequences of her actions, all because she was fighting the system. I'm getting sick and tired of cashless bail and all this shit being used to destroy what was arguably one of the greatest justice systems ever created. Clyde says that the problem with mob social justice, lacking information, committing crimes based on bad information, just become stupid criminal. Absolutely. Well, and we saw so I don't remember if it might have been ICE. I think it was probably DHS, but they've reached out to the cell phone companies. I'm not really sure I want this to happen. They've reached out to the cell phone companies to try and pinpoint the people that are trying to follow ICE. Because Verizon, if you've got Verizon, they can go on their phone and just kind of see, hey, who texted this text? So I have seen reports. I have not seen any actual confirmation from either the government or the cell phone providers or the phone providers, but they are apparently the government's trying to get the names and numbers of the people that are coordinating in the signal groups and stuff like that. Not a big fan of that. I think that's too much. You know what? I don't like trying to force your views using strong arm tactics. I think we should just win. Just prove that your views are correct by winning. Well, Independent's got a point. Doesn't know if cashless bail is the problem or if it's judges using cashless bail or allowing people to get cashless bail that probably shouldn't qualify for it. It's a fair point, too. I think, I think everyone should get one shot. If you have this opportunity. If you commit a crime, let's say Class C felony and below through misdemeanor, maybe you get an opportunity for cashless bail. Maybe you get an opportunity for ROR, being released on your own recognizance. But if you start getting arrested for assault, battery, murder, rape, trafficking of any kind, I don't want you on my streets. You have given up the right to play at being a citizen. Shit, I was supposed to release a video today. It'll come out tomorrow. We're gonna have a video tomorrow, guys. Jeez, so much degeneracy and shit on Twitter. It blows my mind sometimes that people would post things knowing other people could see it. Like, I understand, using anonymous names and stuff like that, but I'll never understand being just Holy shit. I'll never understand just being like, hey, let me post this insane yay thing. Like that guy on Twitter or guy on TikTok and say, hey, we should off members of the cabinet. Doesn't make any sense to me. Holy shit. Well, independent. That's not exactly what happened. I mean, I wouldn't have posted. I would have cut the video a bit better to post, but that's not exactly what happened. Damn. Okay, there's got to be something else. I know I'm not nearly as prepared as I usually am for this. How about this dumbass? William Kelly, the guy that has been going around being a agitator. Oh shit, actually, that's not what I want to talk about. Oh, let's see if I can find this. This is gonna take me a second. I saw a short. I think it was a short yesterday. If it wasn't a short, then it's definitely gone because there's no way in hell I can find it on Twitter because I definitely didn't bookmark it because it's not on my thing. But I saw a short the other day about these people getting paid to go be agitators. And it was from people that were actually getting paid to do it. And it was talking about how, this guy gets paid $25 an hour to just go out there and hold the sign. This other guy gets paid $32 an hour to go do it. And they wear decibel readers so that the people paying them know how loud they got. And apparently you get a bonus if you average like a higher reading. And then, apparently you can like set your rates if you're going into like Minneapolis, where it's a lot colder than it is, here in South Carolina. You can just go and you can say, you're going to pay me $70 instead, or $70 an hour instead. Like that. That's this protesting economy bullshit is insane. I can't find it. I spent too much time scrolling through shorts yesterday. I can't find. But this dude, so this guy has been claiming to be a combat veteran. I think this is the guy claiming to be a combat veteran, and he's actually not. He was like a supply clerk the entire time.
My name is William Kelly. I'm a combat veteran.
Yeah. He wasn't a combat veteran. That's what, and the fact that no one is like pushing that harder blows my mind. Like I'm honestly shocked Heston hasn't gone, hey, by the way, this is what he did, and none of it was combat related.
I'm a patriot. I'm a lover of the Constitution. I'm an ally to my Black, Latino, and indigenous people.
Wow, he didn't say Latinx.
I will not stand here and be intimidated by Pam Bondi on her persecution of these patriots, of these freedom fighters.
Really? Because once again, all four of you were arrested for violating federal law. You are not allowed to go into a house of worship. whether it is a mosque, a synagogue, or a church, and disrupt service. And that's what you did. You're not allowed to do that. If I did that here in South Carolina, I would be arrested for the exact same thing.
Of these journalists who are brave enough to document what we're doing in this city. What is happening in Minnesota is a resistance against tyranny, a resistance against fascism.
It's a bunch of people playing at being heroes. They are the children and the kids that grew up reading about the Civil Rights Act. They grew up idolizing these people that marched, and they're just so angry not to have something to march to about today that they have created this insane theory that removing people from this country who are not supposed to be here is up there with saying you're not allowed to be an American because of what you look like. Or you're not allowed to use my water fountain because of who your dad was. Like, they are two very different things.
And the absurdity of us being right here, right now, the peaceful nine being persecuted.
The peaceful nine, again, you dumb motherfucker. You broke into a church and you started harassing people for attending church. I will abide a lot of things. I will sit there and say, you know what? These people out there are being stupid, but I'm not going to sit there and want their lives to be ruined because they don't agree with the president. You are allowed to not agree with everybody. It's one of the beautiful things about America. The second you start attacking our rights, the second that you start breaking into churches and forcing a church service to stop because you want to be loud and proud, get the fuck out of here. You do not deserve the protections that you are begging for.
While the murderers and the executioners of Alex Petty and Renee Good walk free. Now,
again, fuck around and find out. I don't remember what Alex did, but Renee Good tried to run over a ICE agent. Shouldn't have tried to do it. Should get out of the fucking car. Should have listened to the cop.
Only walk free, but are still working for the federal government. This is madness. It's time to wake up, Americans. It's time to get off your couches and stand with your brother.
It's a chair. Thank you. It's not a couch. It's just a chair. This is main character syndrome. This is a guy that is probably angry that he didn't get a whole bunch of chest medals. Didn't end up looking like Melee. Didn't get a bunch of chest medal and decided, you know what? Here's an opportunity for me to be loud and proud. Here's an opportunity for me to be the face of the resistance. It's disgusting, really. Like, it blows my mind that this guy, I don't know. It's absolutely insane to me. Let's see what's going on with him. I bet he gets a whole lot of hits. It is. It's cult. It's absolutely cult behavior. It's people that engage in groupthink and don't actually think for themselves. Now, one thing I will say is groupthink is a problem that I think everyone suffers from. There's people on both sides that are incapable of forming their own opinion. There are people on both sides that are incapable of being able to explain their opinion. But the inability for the left to, I'm so fucking sick of these videos or these pictures. The inability of the left to diagnose their issues and realize that their, what do we call them? Their policies are the reason for the destruction or the issues that America has been having for the last 15, 20 years. Again, let's take the H-1B visa program, for example. The H-1B visa program is supposed to bring in qualified what's the word? Skilled. That's the word. Supposed to bring in qualified, skilled labor, whether it is a mechanic or a doctor. Yet we already know that 2 weeks ago, the Indian government raided a house that was sending out over 100,000 certificates and degrees, fraudulent certificates and degrees to Indians all over the world to be the reason they got that job. We saw the World Health Organization back in 2016 published a finding that 56% of Indians in other in these nursing and healthcare and technology industries were grossly unqualified for the jobs they had. And couple the rise of H-1B visa with the rise of the need for actual technicians at Ford plants. Ford announced the other day that, they've got like 400,000 job opening. I don't know if it was 400,000. They have hundreds of thousands of job openings across the country. And many of them paying six-figure jobs or six-figure salaries, but they can't find anyone to take them. Well, that's partly because we have a huge issue with the service industry here in the United States. We've got people who are not being trained up. We've got people that own training facilities that are not training. We've got, for every one person that enters the crane or blue collar field in zero the trades, there's about 10 people that retire. That's why Ford is willing to pay what they're trying to pay. The other problem is a lot of these jobs are in Detroit. Nobody wants to fucking live in Detroit because the Democrats in Detroit have ruined Detroit. But it blows my mind that the liberal left continues to try and fight for survival of opinions that just don't work anymore. Well, I think that's going to be it for today, guys. Bit of a short show. I think we're just over an hour. But we're going to redirect you over to, oh, she might not allow for redirects. Hang on. There we are. We're going to redirect y'all over to Dreamy Tabitha. We'll be back at our normal time on Thursday at 7:30, I think. And well, then you can leave, Independent. We're gonna redirect y'all over there. We'll be back at our normal time, and there will be videos this week. I'm gonna work on one this afternoon and release it tomorrow. Y'all have a great day. Thank y'all for being here. Thank you for the supers. Thank you for the gift of memberships. Y'all have a great night, and do not forget, there's shit in this life worth fighting for. Do not black pill. Do not go into the dark. Fight, fight, fight.